God willing, I'm going to be able to release this video after Shabbat. My friends, I'm a former Soviet citizen, as I mentioned before, many times. Thank God I was able to leave when I was a little kid. My parents really had to live with that crap for the first 33 years of their lives. And I will just tell you that what the left in America and really in the world has been doing really for the past, at the very least, 17 or 18 years, if not more, they have been moving the Overton window more and more left, more and more left, more and more left, more and more left, to the point where any person who, doesn't swear fealty to all of their stupid ideas, all of their ridiculous, demonic, satanic ideas that were born in Sodom and Gomorrah, any person that doesn't agree with those ideas, any person that doesn't say, the compelled speech that they want that person to say, is deemed a right-wing fanatic, right? And folks, they've been doing this for years. This is, and I can tell you as a former Soviet citizen, this is what Bolsheviks do. This is how they do things. And it's always that they represent, a distinctive minority of the country. It's tyranny of the minority, tyranny of the, in terms of population, right? 5%, 10%, something like that. And then they drag everybody else down with them into their cult. And whatever you see, whoever you see being, let's say, elected as a president or a congressman, somebody like a Trump, right, is merely a reaction to them, right? It's an antibiotic, a person who comes out and just literally makes fun of all of them, which is what should happen to them. It should happen to them repeatedly and mercilessly. Like, Democrats and all these people, media types, complain, oh, Trump took away civility in society. Folks, the ones who took away civility in society are the left, are the Marxists, are the Bolsheviks, are the woke, or whatever you want to call them. I don't even know what to call them anymore. So they have to be ridiculed mercilessly. Unfortunately, in the Soviet Union, you couldn't ridicule them mercilessly. There was no one who could come out in the public sphere, in the public square, or any, election or any, debate podium and call anybody low energy, call anybody whatever, right? Nobody could do that, folks. Nobody could come out and say to the ruling class, if I was president or if I was the premier of Soviet Union, you would be in jail, right? And that person deserves to be in jail. That person that, Trump spoke to directly, right? That person deserves to be. Folks, why do you think they tried to put him in jail? Because he said, if I was president, you'd be in jail. And it's absolutely correct. What he's saying is absolutely correct, right? Folks, so these people are amazing they're very skillful at playing the victim. Pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, banning and banning and banning and banning, silencing, muzzling, canceling, right? Thinking that you're not going to notice that that's what they're doing, justifying why they're doing it, saying this person said racist things, this person said these things, this person said those things. Oh, when we do it, it's correct, and when you do it, and then they flip it around on you. When you do it, it's whatever, right? A breach of the First Amendment or blah, 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 blah. Folks, this is a typical, if you want to know exactly where this is from, what they're doing now, read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, folks. That's one of Shmo Mama's Bibles. Okay, he doesn't actually have a Bible. He doesn't actually read the Bible, or he doesn't actually think the Bible is a good book, as we have seen in one of the clips that I posted. What he thinks of the Bible, right? That's his Bible, folks. Folks, these people are demonic. And now they've convinced you that they're the victim. They've convinced you that they value, free speech, and that, oh my God, woe is me. How can you fire me? How can you cancel me? How can you this and how can you that? And, I thought you guys valued this and blah, 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 blah. My friends, we do value it. You know, when a person comes says jokes and they're funny, have an element of truth to them, we value that. But if you're doing the equivalent of yelling fire in a crowded building, or in this case, literally lying, or lying by omission, or the first thing you do when a person was literally murdered in public, you come out and you feel the need to say a lie, right? Literally say a lie. It's not even funny, right? You could say, well, let him say the lie, blah blah blah. Folks, that's not the point. The point is, they are very good at playing the victim. They're very good at it, my friends. This is narcissism 101, guys. And as you know, narcissists are demonically possessed, right? They have demons inside of them, right? They make you look like the bad guy at every turn. At every single solitary turn, guys. And so, folks, this is who we're battling against. There are some people that I know, you know, former Soviet citizens of the older generation. They have told me that, Tzvi, it might be that the only solution is Pinochet. It may come to that. Maybe not now. Maybe not in, you know, not in months, but not too far off in the future. It might be the only solution is Pinochet, because you see, guys, you see what's going on, right? There's no talking to them. They have their dogma. They have their ideology. They have their, you know, like, this is how this is. If you don't agree, you're a troglodyte. If only you would just, you know, educate yourself about this, then you would be enlightened like us. Folks, this is Gnostic fruitcakery, right? We speak about this all the time, Gnostic fruitcakes. And because you're not enlightened like us, you just don't get it, and you're living in the past, you're living in, I don't know, the 50s or the 70s or the 80s. You're a troglodyte, and you're lucky that we even let you live on this planet, you know. So whatever, you know, you could live, you can have your job maybe, as long as you don't speak out about anything or say jokes that we don't like. You can have your house, you can have your car. Just don't, you know, don't express your opinion. Don't say that that you think that elections were rigged or stolen. Don't say that. You're not allowed to say that. You're going to go to jail for that. Folks, you understand what I just enumerated to you. You understand. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone. If you guys ever saw the movie Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey. Folks, they've been doing it and doing it and doing it, and every time they do it, they memory hole whatever they do, because people have a short attention span with social media. People forget what they did and what they said and what happened, and again, you bring it up, they're gonna justify it away. But when we did it to this person, that person, this and that, they deserved it. But this guy, what did he do? Well, he didn't. Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's very bad that this guy got killed. But you should know he's the most worst person that ever lived since Hitler. But it's very bad that he got killed. But we're justifying that he got killed. But it's very bad that he got killed. But by the way, in the back of your mind, we want you to know, it's okay that he got killed. But he was a very bad guy. So we don't want you to feel so bad that he got killed, because he was bad. He was evil. Oh, but it's bad that somebody got killed. Nobody should get killed. But maybe they should. Folks, do you understand the games that they play with their words, and the games that they play with your mind? There's a war on your mind and your neshama. This is Bolshevism. This is cultural Marxism. This is Gnostic fruitcakery. That's what it is, my friends. James Lindsay talks about this all the time. So he's actually a master of describing this. But guys, I'm telling you, as a just former Soviet citizen again, and I was a little kid. Everything I know from my parents and other people like them. At least the people that have a consciousness about that stuff. A lot of people, unfortunately, came to America and chose to forget about it and chose to, pretend that it could never happen in America. But we see that it happened, my friends. It happened. A guy I'm not going to name He said, I'm going to fundamentally transform America, and that's exactly what he did. He started with the education system. You see, guys, by the time these kids get to college, they can't listen to a different opinion. Anybody who sits there in front of them with a microphone and says this and that and the other is a Nazi and a I don't know, misogynist and a fascist and every horrible thing under the sun. They can't listen. They can't even hear the person without breaking out into a hive. You see, folks, this is what Bolsheviks do. They start with the kids. They start them young. They take them, you know, what do they say? 25% of these kids under a certain age, under 17, are now trans? Folks, a quarter of the country, of the future, of the next generation will be transgender? Folks, I hate to break it to you, you're living in Sodom. This goes beyond left wing and right wing. You're straight up living in Sodom and Amorah, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? It's a spiritual war, my friends. I've said everything I'm saying. I've said this many times, but it's just, you see it now on display with all this Jimmy Kimmel stuff. You see it, you know. At least I see right through it. It's so translucent. It's so, you know. You can't not see it. You know what I mean? If you choose to, but it's really amazing. Really amazing. Anyway, guys, B'ezrat Hashem, I think probably release this Motzei Shabbat, and everybody should be safe, and everybody should really, you know, keep your head on a swivel, so to speak. Keep very, very, you know, stay calm, cool, calm, and collected. Do not let these people frazzle you, because, you know, just like with any narcissist, if you guys ever dealt with narcissists, they want a reaction. They want your reaction, right? They want you to look like the crazy one. They're crazy. They're the ones who are crazy, right? With the septum rings in their nose, you know, and the pink hair. They're the ones, right? They want a reaction from you. Don't give them that. You know? If they come at you, that's a different story. If they want to throw hands, that's something else. It's a different already ballpark. But yeah, guys, it's just God. We have Rosh Hashanah coming up. Just connect to Hashem, and just know that this is largely spiritual. And the more you connect to Hashem, the more light you bring, right? The more you cancel out darkness. That's what Rav Kook said. You know, you can't cancel out darkness with darkness. You can only cancel it out by bringing light. All right, guys. Shabbat Shalom. Last Shabbat, and talk to you soon.